Hello, my name is Rin, and from today onwards, I'll be tutoring the SAT. So I'm currently in college, but on the left, you could see my test scores that I achieved in the past. So I achieved an 800 perfect score on the math section, and unfortunately, not a perfect score, but still relatively high, 720 on the reading section. So, today's video will be on the math section of the SAT. So, specifically, this is practice test 1, math module 1, and only the first 6 questions. So, later videos will be on the remaining questions of math module 1, and then after that, we will go to like module 2, and then maybe we'll start doing the math modules of different practice tests. So this is the first one, maybe 2, 3, 4, and onwards. So let's get started. So, uh, this is the first question. What is 10% of 470? So this is relatively straightforward. All we have to do is determine 10% of 470. And as you may know, 10% is the same thing as 0.1, as a number being multiplied by 0.1. So in this case, all you have to do is multiply the original number, 470, by 10% or 0.1, which will give you 47. When you're multiplying a number by 0.1, you're literally only moving the decimal place one spot to the left. If you're multiplying by 10, you'll be moving one spot to the right. And then let's say if it's 0.01, then you'll be moving 2 spots to the left. And if you're multiplying by 100, then that is 2 spots to the right. In this case, it's 0.1, so it's only one decimal place to the left. And your answer is B, 47. If I'm not mistaken, that the math module, the first part at least, um, you're allowed to use the calculator. So if you're unsure, you can just simply plug it into the calculator and you'll get the exact same thing. So next is question number 2. 4x plus 6 equals 18. So we have to find the equation that has the same solution as the given equation. Can you all notice how 4x is isolated in all 4 options? All 4 options have 4x isolated. So that is what we also want to do with the given equation. You have 4x plus 6 equals 18. So in order to isolate this 4x, we want to get rid of this plus 6. And we can do that by subtracting 6 on both sides. So plus 6 and negative 6 cancel out. And then 18 minus 6, you're left with 12. So that means you get this, you bring down the 4x. So 4x equals 12. Your answer is C. 4x equals 12. Okay, so let's go on to the next questions. Okay, so let's do number 3 first. So the total cost in dollars to rent a surfboard consists of a $25 service fee and a $10 per hour rental fee. A person wants to rent a surfboard for 2 hours and intends to spend a maximum of $75 to rent the surfboard. Which inequality represents this situation? Okay, so this problem, we just have to find the equation that represents the situation. So we know we have a $25 service fee. The service fee is a flat fee. It's a one-time fee. It's not going to, the service fee is not going to accumulate. It's just a one-time fee that you pay. What's going to accumulate is the $10. Because you're paying $10 for every hour you rent the surfboard. That's why it says per hour. So $10 per hour. Every hour you rent a surfboard, you pay $10. And the number of hours you rent a surfboard is represented by T. So since you have to pay $10 for every hour you rent a surfboard, and T hours is the total number of hours that you rented a surfboard, T times 10 would give you the amount of money you owe for renting a certain number of hours you rented a surfboard. So then you add that to the service fee or the flat fee, 25. So once again, 25 is a service fee. It's a one-time fee. That is why there is no variable representing the hours. The variable T that represents the number of hours you rent a surfboard is being multiplied by 10 because it's $10 per hour rental fee. Now, the person here wants to spend a maximum, keyword is maximum, of $75. Maximum implies that he wants to spend no more than $75. He wants to either keep it at 75 or less. So that means that the inequality symbol has to be the less than or equal to sign. This symbol implies that the left is either less than or equal to the right. So $75 is the max he wants to pay. So that he's willing to pay. So the amount he actually pays, which is represented by 10t plus 25, is going to be less than or equal to 75. And that is your answer. And if you look at your answer choices, your answer is D. Be careful about your answer choices. B looks very similar to the answer we got. The only problem is that T is misplaced. In this option B, T is being multiplied by 25, whereas D, the answer, is being multiplied by 10. So it's just a matter of placement. The 25 is just shows first in the option, but that does not change the value whatsoever. So let's go on to number 4. The function g is defined by g of x equals x squared plus 9, for which value of x is g of x equal to 25. So we just have to find the value of x when x squared plus 9 equals 25, because g of x is equal to both. So let's write that out. X squared plus 9 equals 25. What we can do is isolate the x squared. That should be our first step. We can do that by subtracting 9 on both sides. That will make the positive 9 and the negative 9 to cancel each other out. So you are left with x squared equals 25 minus 9, which we all know is 16. So now we have to, this is x squared equals 16. but we're solving for x. So we have to get rid of this squared, this 2 second power. We can do that by finding the square root of both sides. The square root of x squared will just cancel out the 2, the second power. So you're just left with x. These two cancel out. The reason is because x times x is x squared. So the square root of x squared is just x. So if you do one thing to one side, you have to do it to the other side. So we now have to find the square root of 16, which is 4. The reason is 4 times 4 is 16, so the square root of 16 is 4. If you want to double check, you can always plug it into your calculator and it'll give you the answer, which is 4. So we know our answer is x equals 4. So the answer must be A. Okay, so now let's go on to the next set of questions. So, number 5. Each face of a fair 14-sided die is labeled with a number from 1 to 14, with a different number appearing on each face. If the die is rolled one time, what is the probability of rolling a 2? Okay, so this is a relatively straightforward question, but the problem is that the wording can be kind of confusing. So what we have to pay attention to is the die has 14 sides. It's a 14-sided die. And each side is labeled with a different number from 1 to 14. A different number appears on each face. So on each face of the die is a different number from 1 to 14 on each of the 14 sizes. So once there's only 1 on one side, there's only a number 2 on one side, there's only a number 3 on one side, and so on. So if you're rolling the die only once, that implies you're only going to get one number, correct? So what is the probability of rolling a 2? So if each side has a different number and only one side has the number 2 on it, that means that you only have a 1 out of 4 a 1 out of a 14th chance of rolling a 2. This applies to every other number of the every other side, every other number on the die. So you have a 1 in 14th chance to get any of the numbers. Well, 1 in 14 chance to get one of the 14 numbers. So like no, you only have a 1 out of 14 chance to get a 1, a 1 out of 14 chance to get a 2, a 1 out of 14 chance to get a 3, and so on, because each side has a different number. This rolling a 2 does not imply two sides. It just implies one side with the number 2 on it. So your answer must be A, 1 out of 14. So let's go on to number 6. A printer produces posters at a constant rate of 42 posters per minute. At what rate in posters per hour does the printer produce the posters? So we are given the rate of 42 posters per minute. That's a terrible line. 42 posters per minute. And we just have to convert this rate to posters per hour. So we're just changing minutes to hours, correct? So how many minutes are there in 1 hour? 60, right? So you have 60 minutes in 1 hour. If you produce 42 posters per minute, and there are 60 minutes per hour, the number of posters you will create in 1 hour is just 42 times 60. And you can just plug that into the in your calculator, but your answer will be 2,520. And that's your final answer. All you had to do for number 6 was convert the minutes to posters, which is all you have to do is multiply by 60. Okay, so for this video, we'll stop here. There are more questions to this particular section, but I'll be doing that in another video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned. Bye.